Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the previous class, we discussed about the definition of risk. Then after that, we discussed about the definition of return. First, we discussed about the definition of return, then definition of risk. I give you examples of return and risk. Then we discussed about interest rate risk and market risk. Now, in case of return is not only from shares. It can be any business. Suppose you purchased a building. The value of that building is $1 million. You give it on rent to someone. And monthly he is paying, suppose $2,000 rent. So yearly it will become 2000 multiplied by 12. It will become 24,000. So this thing is in the form of cash. This is basically income received. Now what happened after 1 year? The price of this building, it goes up from $1 million to 1.2 million. This is basically the capital gain. We discussed about these two things in the previous class. The income that is received in the form of cash and the value of your investment when it goes up. It goes up from 1 million to 1.2 million, but it is not in the form of cash. When you will sell this business, this building, then you will get this profit. This is called capital gain. So it can be in any business. Now, we discussed about interest rate risk and market risk. Today we are going to discuss inflation risk. Now what is inflation? You people know about inflation. Inflation means increase but persistent increase. Persistent means continuous. Persistent increase in the prices of goods and services. I'm writing shortly in prices. So when the prices of goods increases, the value of currency it will come down. This is basically called inflation. So what is the impact of inflation? Take an example. You have $1,000 and you are going to deposit this $1,000 in a bank. And that bank is paying 8% interest on that money. So after 1 year, you will get $108,000. But there is a problem. If there is inflation, what will happen? The purchasing power of this $1,000, it will come down. At that time, for $1,000, you were able to purchase 100 chairs. Suppose you were able to purchase 100 chairs. Now the same chairs of the same quality, after 1 year, here, after 1 year, you can purchase only 90 chairs for this $1,000. So now see, because of inflation, the purchasing power of your invested dollars, this money, the purchasing power of your invested money, it is coming down. It comes down. Previously, for $1,000, you were able to purchase 100 shares, but now the same $1,000, but you are able to purchase only 90 shares. This is called inflation. And the risk that because of inflation, if there is inflation, the purchasing power of your currency will come down. This is today. This is today. You deposit $1,000 in a bank. But there is possibility that in the future, after 1 year, the purchasing power of this $1,000, it will come down. There is possibility that the purchasing power of this $1,000 of your invested money, it will come down. This is called inflation risk. A factor affecting all securities is purchasing power risk, or the chance that the purchasing power of invested dollars will decline. Now here it's telling you that with uncertain inflation, the real return, inflation adjusted return, involves a risk even if the nominal return is safe, like T-bill. Now what does it mean? What is nominal return? What is a real return? Suppose your bank tells you that we will give you 8% interest. This 8% interest, this is called nominal interest. Our nominal return. Suppose in 1 year, increase in inflation is 6%. So, when from this nominal return, we will deduct inflation, that is 6% minus 6%. This is inflation. When you will deduct inflation from this, so you will get only 2%. This 2%, this is called real interest or real return. So inflation, this is affecting the real return. Actual return, a real return, this is basically inflation adjusted. So what is inflation risk? Inflation is basically the increase in the prices of goods and services, or the decrease in the purchasing power of a currency. Now there is always a chance, if there is inflation in the economy, so the purchasing power of your invested dollars, it will come down. This is basically called inflation risk. The next type of risk, it is called business risk. The risk of doing business in a particular industry or environment is called business risk. If we will take this definition, it will be better. Business risk is the exposure a company or organization has to factor that will lower its profit or lead to it to fail. Or simply anything that threatens a company's ability to achieve its financial goal is considered business risk. What? Anything that threatens a company's ability to achieve its financial goal is considered as business risk. That is, any factor that is threatening a company to achieve its financial objectives, its financial goal, is called business risk. Now, what are the examples? Telecommunication industry, which faces major and rapid changes. Now, there is a threat in telecommunication industry of rapid changes. If you're not making changes to your products, you will be out of the competition. So you will continuously innovate. iPhone, Samsung, continuously they are innovating their products. They are making changes in their products. Nokia is out of the competition because of this rapid changes. They were unable to make these rapid changes. Government regulations. If there are regulations from the government, strict regulations from the government, so it is also affecting the company's profits. Competition is also affecting a company's profit, or competition is also affecting a company's ability to achieve its financial goals. So that is also a business risk. Risk of fraud in telecommunication or in banking industry, risk of fraud. There is always a chance of fraud. You know about hacking. So that is also a risk, and we call it business risk. So the risk of doing business in a particular industry or environment is called business risk. Financial risk. Now, what is financial risk? Financial risk is associated with the use of debt financing by the companies. Debt financing. You know about debt financing. Taking loan. Suppose a company took a huge amount of loan from a bank. Suppose $20 million. Now on this $20 million, they will pay interest each year, and they took this loan for 10 years. So at maturity, they will repay this 20 million loan. So financial risk is that a company is unable to pay the interest plus the principal amount. What is financial risk? We took a huge amount of loan, and there is possibility that in the future, if we will not earn profits in these 10 years, then what will happen? We will be unable to repay the interest, and we will be unable to repay the principal amount. Principal amount means 20 million loan, that is principal amount. So financial risk is related to the repayment of the interest and the loan, the principal amount. So he's telling you that financial risk is associated with the use of debt financing by companies. If companies are using debt financing and their debt is increasing continuously from 20 million to 30 million to 40 million, their debt is increasing, and then the larger the proportion of assets financed by debt, the larger the risk and variability in return. If in your financing the debt is too much, suppose this is 20 million, our total assets, it is equal to 50 million. You know about this equation, asset is equal to liability plus equity. So 50 million is our total assets are 50 million. Out of this, 20 million is liability, and the remaining 30 million, it is equity. Now if this debt will increase continuously, now there is a chance in business, you know, there is chance. If you will earn profit, okay, you will be able to repay the interest, and you will be able to repay the principal amount at maturity, that is after 10 years. But if this loan is high, this risk will be high, that you will be unable to repay the interest plus principal amount. Those people who took too much loan, so their financial risk is high. I'm telling you again, financial risk is concerned with your ability, capability. Capability of what? Capability of repaying the interest, not repaying, paying the interest plus repaying the principal amount. If your loans will increase, so this risk will increase, that maybe in the future there will be possibility if in 1 year you made some losses. There are 10 years. So maybe in one year or maybe in the other year you made losses. When you made losses, so you will be unable to repay the interest and you will be unable to repay the principal amount. This is basically called financial risk. So financial risk is concerned with debt financing. The larger the proportion of debt, the larger the variability in return, the larger the financial risk. This is called basically financial risk. So financial risk is connected with the use of debt financing. If you are using more debt and you are in losses in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, so then it will be difficult for you to pay the interest on this $20 million and you will be unable to repay the principal amount after 10 years. This is called financial risk. The chance that you become bankrupt. The next type of risk that is called liquidity risk. What is liquidity risk? Liquidity means that you purchase something and now when you want to sell that thing, it is losing value and you are unable to sell it quickly. Take an example. You purchased a building. You purchase this building for suppose $20 million. Now what happened after 3 years? Something happened and now you are in need of money. So you want to sell this building. But you're not finding any customer. Or if you are finding a customer, so the customer is telling that I will purchase it for 16 million. If you want to sell it quickly, so you are realizing only $16 million. This is basically called liquidity. That if you want to sell the asset quickly, it is losing value. You purchased it for 20 million, but now it is realizing only 16 million. So what is he saying? When a security is traded without significant change in price, we can say it is liquid. We can say it is liquid. I'm telling you, you purchased a security, a share, and you want to sell it, but you are selling it without significant change in price. Suppose you purchased a share. You purchased 1,000 shares. The price of one share, suppose it is $50. Now after some time you are in need of money and you want to sell these shares. So when you want to sell, you can sell it for suppose 49.80. There is not big change in the price of this share. Quickly, if you want to get money, you can sell it quickly without any change in price, without losing value, significant change in price. Significant means that if you want to sell shares, so someone is telling you that I will purchase it for 30. Someone is telling you that I will purchase it for 20. No, in the case of shares, this is not the situation. So we can say that it is liquid. If it is not losing value, we can say it is liquid. But sometime, if the future is not certain, you don't know about the future, and it may not be sold without significant change, then there is liquidity risk. But there is possibility that you purchased 1000 shares, and in the future, maybe there is possibility that when you are in need of money and you want to sell this share, maybe it will lose value. Maybe you are able to sell this for $40 only. So then there will be liquidity risk. So liquidity risk is that you purchased some securities and there is possibility that in the future these securities will lose value when you want to sell it in the future. This is called liquidity risk. That security will lose significant dollars from your investment. That the security will lose value in the future. This is called liquidity risk. Then there is another type of risk that is called exchange rate risk. When you are working inside a country, inside the boundaries of this country, suppose it is Afghanistan. So when you are working inside Afghanistan, there will be no exchange rate risk. But when you will export goods or when you will do business outside Afghanistan, there is possibility that the value of Afghani today it is $1 equal to 76. So maybe in the future this value will change and maybe $1 will become equal to 79, or maybe there is possibility that $1 it will be equal to 73 in the future. So if it becomes 73, you will lose money, and if it becomes equal to $76, so you will be in profit. Suppose you invested $1 million, $100,000 in USA. So now you will face exchange rate risk. You convert Afghani at 76. You purchased $100,000. You invest it in USA. Now, what happened? After 1 year, you earned $10,000 on this invested $1 lakh. So this $10,000, you will bring it back to Afghanistan. If exchange rate it goes up, you will be in profit. But if exchange rate comes down, $1 is equal to 73, you will be in losses. Or if you will think about a simple example, the merchants, the traders in Afghanistan, if Pakistani currency it comes down, so Afghani traders they will be in benefit. They will purchase more and more goods from Pakistan. But if the value of rupees it goes up, then this purchase will not be beneficial. They will lose money because Pakistani goods will become expensive for them. So if Pakistani currency goes down, they will be in profit. But if Pakistani currency goes up, they will be in losses if they are importing goods from Pakistan. Inshallah, in the next class, we will talk about exchange rate risk in detail. The length of the video, it is too much. So inshallah, in the next class, then we will talk about this exchange rate risk. Okay, have a good time. Assalamu alaikum.